How they hanging down, oh dudes? It's me, the Meteor Raptor, and I got some bad news for you. Star Wars The Last Jedi isn't that good. Deal with it. Now let me preface by saying, I liked The Last Jedi. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't hate Star Wars. I like the original movies. I like the prequels. I actually really enjoy the prequels. 2 and 3 I think are great. Number 1 I could do without, but I think that goes for every single person on the planet. I love the Clone Wars. That was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. I still really enjoy it. The animated movie, not as much, but it was still entertaining. I really enjoyed The Force Awakens. I thought Rogue One was great, but The Last Jedi... Nah. You know, it seems like they knew it would make money, so they didn't try as much. So they just kind of threw it away. You know, they just kind of threw these half-baked ideas that if they had given it some more time, could have been fantastic. Because let me say, the effects, fantastic. The acting, phenomenal. The music, the props, the costumes, the locations, the creativity, the action, everything about this movie is essentially 4 Raptor Claw worthy. But one thing takes this movie and essentially kneecaps it. The story. One aspect of the story really kind of ruined it for me. It's too long. I get it. This movie is meant to set up future movies. It's meant to say, here's what we want to do with this movie. We want to continue. We want to build a whole new universe with new characters. We want to expand the mythos. That's awesome. I am totally okay with that. But when a movie's clocking in at nearly 3 hours, you have to provide about 3 hours of content that actually matters to the story. Or at least give us 3 hours of entertaining content, and not characters whose motivation is so blatantly predictable or you hate them so much you wish they die, and then when they make a heroic sacrifice you don't think anything about it because they really didn't mean anything to the movie. Yeah, let me explain my problems with it. The movie starts out fantastic. It starts out great. I think this is awesome. Let's see where this is going. I want to watch more. Then, from there, the first half or so of the movie is actually really strong. I like the idea of Rey finding Luke and then Luke being like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to be doing this anymore. Not the movies, the more like being a Jedi. He's like, look, I messed up. What do you want? And I like what they did with that. I liked how his character has adapted, how he's kind of become what Han Solo was in Episode 4. He's the grumpy old man, he's the grumpy dude who they have to get to try and help. I like Finn, I like Rey, I like Poe, I like the characters, but it's when they go to that casino planet. I'm sorry. From there onwards, the movie is terrible with its pacing. We spent like 20 minutes on that planet when that could have been a 5-minute scene and should have been a 5-minute scene at most. And ultimately the character of DJ I really didn't care much for because I knew from the word go, okay, he's going to be the bad guy, he's going to betray them because it was so blatantly obvious. I liked what they did with Kylo Ren, kind of making him more and more bad, making him less redeemable, I guess. And I'm totally for... I love villains who are irredeemable, who no matter what they do, they will not change. That to me is a good villain. I'm kind of tired of all these, there's good left inside you. I want to see a villain who's like, yeah, there is. I just don't give a crap about that, and then kills people. Like, the Joker in The Dark Knight was great. I like what they're doing with Kylo Ren. I knew they were going to kill Snoke after pretty much the second scene he was in this movie, and that kind of annoyed me. Because we got no idea as to who he was. We didn't get to know anything about him. We didn't know, was he a threat? We knew nothing about him. And it was just a waste of a character that was honestly pretty darn awesome. And it should have been more, but it really wasn't. That could be the tagline for the entire movie. It should have been more, but it wasn't. My points can be brought down to this. They underutilized the villains. They attempted to build characters out of the most obnoxious or annoying or characters that just piss you off. And the plot wasn't finished. See, the thing is, there's a couple new characters. There's that commander woman. I really hated her. She's essentially, to me, is the Doris Umbridge of the Star Wars franchise. By the way, that character I hate so much. That's one reason why I haven't read the Harry Potter books, because I know eventually I'll have to deal with her character for a book. I hated her so much in the movie, I actually kind of gave up partway through, and I'm like, you know what, I'll come back and finish this later. I can't take her right now. Went off, played some Assassin's Creed, came back, then finished the movie. I don't think I've ever been really beaten by a movie before, just for the record, but I have taken breaks from the movie because they were so annoying. I hated her character so much, and this woman, whatever her name was, reminded me so much of her that I'm like, you know what? I really hope you die. Because the thing is, she could have said 3 words. She could have just essentially taken 10 seconds and said, by the way, I'm going to use a distraction so you guys can escape, and then pretty much half of the subplot conflicts wouldn't have happened. Or the Empire could have been, they're going a little bit faster than we can shoot them. How about we just jump ahead a little bit and then shoot them? There are so many moments where I'm like, why don't you just do this? And it's so blatantly obvious it's what they should do, but they don't. And I'm sitting here like, you guys had a weapon that could blow up planets. I know it's been destroyed 3 times, but couldn't you build a faster ship if you can just build a planet-destroying weapon? And looking at the rebels, like, you guys are kind of idiots. And don't even get me started on the Jedi. Let me explain something. Despite what people want to say about the Jedi, about how they're peacekeepers, they're warriors, they're for justice, yeah, this book, The Jedi Path, it's old, it's beaten up, I've had it for almost 10 years now. It's a great read, actually. It's kind of fun because it's got people, all these characters from, man, where's one of the pages? I wrote all over it because I got bored one day. My point is, there's Dooku, Yoda, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Sidious, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a bunch of guys. They put their own notes into this book. It's the guide book to being a Jedi. Thing is, I want you guys to do me a favor. Go find a channel called Cinema Wins. He's essentially the opposite of Cinema Sins. He made a bunch of videos on the original Star Wars trilogy. He points out my big problem with the Jedi. It's my problem with the Guardians of the Universe and the Green Lantern comics. They're so arrogant and their sticks are so far up their ass that when things finally go south, it's too late for them to do anything about it, and they're forced to realize, yeah, we were kind of idiots in this case. Time and time again, the Jedi have either refused emotions, or the Jedi essentially created the Sith. The Jedi killed themselves. And it's stupid, because you really could have changed 3 things, and it would have been fine. The whole marriage, the whole family, and the whole emotions thing. Change those, you would have been fine. In fact, you probably would have been stronger than you were before, but that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into right now. One thing I will give The Last Jedi, though, is they actually did kind of point that out. Yoda shows up at one point, very briefly, and he kind of admits, yeah, we were kind of wrong, actually, when you think about it. I liked that. I thought, okay, that's actually kind of an interesting thing I didn't see coming. Plus, it wasn't CG. It was, again, a puppet, I believe, which, again, the effects were great. But this movie, like I said, it underutilizes the villains. It tries to make new, memorable characters that are characters I don't want to remember. Rose, I was totally indifferent to. I thought she was just there because whatever. And ultimately, it didn't really leave much of an impact on me. A lot of people have said when you watch it again, it's so much better. The movie has to make me want to watch it again. I don't. I saw it once, and that's good enough. Now, the other reason why I kind of have trouble with this movie is because of the idiots. The fandom. You know who I'm talking about. The Menonists who are saying women shouldn't be in Star Wars, and to them, I have a list of names for you. Ayla Secura, Shakti, Ahsoka Tano, Padme Amidala, and Leia Organa. Those are just 5 I can name off the top of my head. Powerful, awesome characters in Star Wars who came out long before Rey, who were women. Now, here's the thing. I could maybe get this argument if it was going with the argument of why are you just remaking things with a gender-flipped idea, like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the Ghostbusters remake, and Ocean's 8. They don't need to exist, and honestly I believe it's kind of dumb that they just take the movie, just remake it with a gender-flipped cast. Nothing against women in film, it's just, I don't see why. Now, here's the thing. If The Force Awakens had been a direct remake and not heavily influenced by it, to the point where Rey's name was Rey or with like Lucia Skywalker. That sounds a lot like leukemia. I'm really sorry if that... You know what I mean. If it had been a direct remake and they had just changed Luke to a female, I could get that maybe. I could maybe tolerate that argument a little bit more. But no, they didn't. In fact, they made a whole new character, one who was actually really good. One who I enjoyed watching. One who is a good character, or who I want to see more in the future. Do I want to see like 50 more Star Wars movies? No, in fact, I'm probably not going to see Solo, a Star Wars story, because it doesn't really interest me. Are they going to keep making them, though? Yes, because Disney doesn't know when to stop. But if Disney did come to me because of some ideas I have, and like, hey, we want to make this into a franchise, I would say, I'm done, let me help make it. I get 50% or something, and then boom, let's go. Like, I would totally be on board with it. My point is, the Menonists who made a 44-minute cut cutting out all the females in it, screw you guys, you are idiots, go home and cry into your body pillows in your parents' basement. And as for the people who are saying it should be struck from canon, what do you want? First, you were complaining that the extended universe was struck from canon. Now you're complaining that the Star Wars movies should be struck from canon. Make up your mind. And if anyone comes into my comments, starts complaining or writing like a full essay on like why I'm wrong, screw you, this is my opinion. Anyhow, you guys, let me rephrase this as I end this review. Last Jedi is not a bad movie. I'm giving it 2 Raptor Claws out of 4. It's okay. It could have been a lot more. And to the people who say you gotta watch it a second time, I'm sorry, it didn't make me want to watch it a second time. But yeah, so we're actually on the countdown to the 175th episode, you guys. And until next time, this is the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see all you dino dudes around. Later.